Okay, my loves, we're gonna discuss how to not lose yourself during intimate connections with a man. First and foremost, we know this not to chase them because when you chase them, even after you guys have beautiful, intimate, intercourse, if you are the one that's pulling in further, it's gonna make them pull back. And then in general, men tend to pull back when they feel a connection of emotions that make them feel seen. Because men were taught that emotions is a female characteristic, that what they feel should not be discussed. The way we were taught was that emotions is something beautiful. It's okay for us to cry, right? It's okay for us to have connections and talk about this with our fellow sisters, with people that we trust. That's what brings the bridge between men and women, and why that emotional unavailable man might pull away from you after getting intercourse, after having a deep connection with you. The fear of being seen, the fear of overly liking you too much, the fear of the feminine energy that they feel, which is the connection of something of love. That's why they say never act like a man, because it throws you off your divine feminine balance, meaning that if you sit and do him how he doing you, it keeps you in a state of survival mode. It keeps you in a state of overly giving. It keeps you in a state of constant strategic mode, which then makes you feel unsafe, emotionally unsafe, which makes you feel like, can I trust my own judgment if I'm allowing this type of behavior to go on amongst me? Can I trust my own judgment, which makes you feel like you can't trust yourself either, which keeps you out of balance with your divine feminine energy. By treating a man how he does you, it never works out in the end, even though it's a good feeling at the moment, which I'm still working on myself too, collective. It's a good feeling to get that get back. But in the end though, it catches up with you. Meaning that you are now taking in his dysfunction, which then is making your nervous system out of whack. Now your nervous system is all out of the place that it's not supposed to be in you. You're surviving. You're supposed to be in your receiving energy as a female. And if a man makes you feel like you got to do that, you got to question, why would you do it for the name of love? And your own you must question your own thoughts on how you can get like that over love. Where does it stem from? Does it come from childhood wounds? Does it come from an emotional unavailable father figure? Does it come from not being accepted in school, in your household? So now you feel like you must cling because patriarchy taught us that we must cling to something that doesn't value us in the name of love, in the name of ride or die energy. Every corner that's turned is spiritual warfare going on in the divine feminine as well. It makes us feel like we must cooperate with this type of behavior because this is what we were set here to do when we weren't. It makes you feel like when you start playing tit for tat, you never have that peace because it makes you feel like, okay, I want to go with someone else, but I'm tied to him. And then you might be playing those games with somebody else because now they're showing patterns of the guy that you were just playing games with. You're meeting the same people in the same body because you're operating like that man, which is dysfunctional if he is operating in that way. If he's emotionally unavailable to you, if he doesn't respond back when you respond back within a couple of minutes, he takes hours to respond back, then you do the same thing. It creates a pattern. It creates a habit for you to then add that on to the next thing in your life. It makes you feel unsafe with yourself. It makes you feel unsafe with every partner that you run across because yes, you got that soul tie with him. You don't want to let him go, but you want to give revenge for how he's treating you. But it's never satisfying in the end. It's satisfying at the moment, you know? It does feel good, but it doesn't last long. It's like a high, okay? You're going to keep needing to come back to get that fix. Also, never get yourself out in a type of mindset that you start questioning this guy, overly questioning him, overly telling him that if he doesn't do this, then you're going to do that. Because if you don't act on that, then he's going to not respect you either, because you're not acting on what you say, which means that he's going to continue to do that thing that you don't like. And then the fact that men were raised as individuals who shouldn't be in tune with their own emotions, that's war on the masculine energy as well, to not accept fully the divine feminine energy within themselves, which then adds a blockage and a bridge between women and men. Separation. It adds confusion. It makes people feel like they gotta be invincible, like they gotta just move and operate like, yeah, I don't got no feelings, you know. And then that makes the male feel like they gotta fight the woman, because now they feel like it's unfair that we can express ourselves and they can't. But in reality, when we do express ourselves and the women's side aspect, we get called emotional, which then adds weapons upon the divine feminine energy, calling us emotional when that's our power, making us feel like we need to be the givers when we are the receivers, making us feel like we can't do it without a man or do it without a relationship, because of how people put so much pressure upon women to get married, upon women to stay in abusive and toxic relationships.